Today's movie was supposed to be the dream team collaboration between Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci, but life and death got in the way. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling FX legend Sergio Stivaletti's directorial debut, Wax Mask. Released in 1997, Wax Mask is generally thought of as one of the last films of the golden age of Italian horror cinema. It's a weird riff on about a bazillion different wax museum stories with some nods to things like The Terminator thrown in as well. All in all, it's a weird little film, and one wherein the stories of its origin are far more interesting than the film itself. Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci were two of the biggest names in Italian genre cinema, but Italy's Hitchcock and the godfather of gore not only had never worked together, they also really weren't friends. Argento has said there was no love lost between him and his often cantankerous colleague, and he has said that he felt Fulci ripped off his style when making his own giallo films. Fulci, for his part, probably said 100 negative things about Argento as well. Again, he was often a bit cantankerous later in life and told you exactly how he felt. By 1994, Fulci had hit on hard times, both personally and professionally. Argento saw him at a film festival that year and was shocked to find the director in a wheelchair. Argento then learned Fulci was about to have major surgery. What's even worse was that Fulci couldn't even afford the surgery. His agent was covering it. Argento felt that Fulci would need something to occupy him upon his recovery, so he proposed they collaborate on a film. Both directors wanted to update a classic horror story by all accounts. The first idea was The Mummy. Frequent Fulci collaborator Dario crafted a script, but they gave up when they couldn't find a unique angle in the retelling. Then Fulci blurted out, "Why not redo House of Wax?" Sacchetti, who also had a bit of a contentious relationship with Fulci in later years despite working together on some of the director's biggest hits, stepped aside for Daniele Stropa and they had a script. But there were still problems. In a weird twist, the two legendary Italian gore auteurs butted heads over how much splatter should be in the film. Argento wanted bucket loads. Fulci, the godfather of gore himself, somehow wanted less. Argento won out in the end and pre-production started. But before they could actually make the film, the production company was met with another tragedy. Fulci died at the young age of 68. As a sign of respect, Argento paid for Fulci's funeral and then went back to the drawing board for the film. Reports are that he had considered his friend and legendary fog machine abuser Claudio Fragasso to helm the project. Something that would have probably sent Fulci into a rage in the afterlife. Fulci was not a Fragasso fan, which was clear in his comments after working with him on Zombie 3. But instead, he opted for FX technician Sergio Stivaletti. This was Stivaletti's feature film debut. He handed off the oversight of the FX duties to a colleague and then figured out how to put his own unique stamp on the story. For his part, he says it was a bit nerve-wracking to make your first feature film with Dario Argento on the set every day, but Argento had nothing but praise for his friend and collaborator. At the end of the day, though, it's hard not to look at this one and see what might have been instead of actually what's there. Italian splatter aficionados dreamt of an Argento-Fulci collaboration for years, and just as we were finally about to get it, fate intervened. It is one of horror cinema's greatest what-ifs. But enough about that. Can Wax Mask meld enough hapless victims to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is sponsored by patrons Sheila Jenkins, Gomer081, and Nebi Neko. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos and free me from the shackles of YouTube's tyranny, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. And now, let's get bloody. We open with a title card, dedicated to Lucio. Hits me right in the feels every damn time. I mean, finally, here it was. Argento and Fulci, the collaboration gore geeks had dreamed about for years was gonna happen. And then it didn't. Oh, what might have been? Oh yeah, edibles kicked in early this week. Oh wow, super fancy title card. At least I think it's a title card, I don't read Italian. And straight into a poorly CGI'd Eiffel Tower establishing shot. I guess this guy really was dead tired. Ooh, it's a real bloodbath. On tonight's episode of Peaky Blinders, and now we get the details of the crime.
It's frenzied butchery. They even cut his heart out, Inspector.
Turns out the killer didn't get everyone here, though. He left a survivor. I've got good news and bad news, little lady. The good news is you're alive. The bad news is you're an orphan. Whitechapel prepares for another night. Will Jack the Ripper strike again? Oh, hey, it's the credits. A young Bob Ross hones his craft. Just gonna draw some happy little leaves here. And make some meth. Oh yeah, not one person here trying to convince you they're an American. And don't think I see you hiding in there, Massimo Vanni. Here's the legendary Sergio Salvati working as cinematographer. So, one of the best ways to help a young director like Stivoletti here is to pair him with a really good cinematographer. Argento knew what he was doing. And Stivoletti pulled double duty here. He did the film's elaborate effects work, some of which we've already not been able to show you. Written by Argento, Fulci, and Daniele Stropa. Fulci and Dardano Sacchetti must have been feuding by this point. Stropa is no Dardano Sacchetti. Thing, lend me a hand. Great, now I want to go play Addams Family Pinball. Directed by Sergio Stivoletti. This was the FX veteran's feature film debut. Stivoletti said he expected to eventually direct films of his own, but figured it would be his own script and project. However, when Argento approached him after Fulci's passing, he jumped into the role. And with the credits over, it's straight into sex position. Hey, my boobs are down there. Oh, sweet, they got Slayer on vinyl. Say what you will, but that Great Gatsby threw one hell of a party. Jesus, check out this dialogue.
Take, for instance, the new Wax Museum. I've been told that its dark interior creates spine-chilling terror.
And yet there couldn't really be anything that would justify feeling that terror.
It's my new favorite game. Was this written by Daniele Stropa or ChatGPT?
They're lifeless effigies, so I can't imagine they'd threaten me.
I think we can all agree that Stropa was robbed of a Best Screenplay Oscar. Oh hey, it's Pazuzu! This dude looks like he's having a great time. Anyway, this guy accepted the bet to spend the night in the Wax Museum. I'm sure that's gonna be fine, right? Ooh, how fancy. An unchained camera shot. Pretty crafty for a first-time director. Guarantee this was Argento's doing. Hey, Fulci eye zoom! Did they dedicate that to him too? Oh, Medusa. I'd be petrified if I saw her. No, I don't know. Lighting a candle in a wax museum seems like a bad idea. I'm not gonna lie though, here he kinda looks like a Victorian-era James A. Janice. And it turns out he's not alone. Probably just another dude who took a bet to prove he could stay in here all night. This place wasn't really that creepy. Maybe the basement will be better. Oh, look, he's replacing that cadaver's blood with Windex. This is just Sergio Stivoletti's workshop, I bet. Oh, he's building a T-800. That exhibit is gonna be great. Well, that was cool, but I'm gonna get back to the studio for the newest kill count. Trapped, he decides to arm himself. Damn it, even the sword is made of wax! And he's about to get killed by a shadow. Wax Museum establishing shot. Oh no, who's gonna tally up the kills now? Guess he's living up to the dead meat moniker. We're not really sure what killed James, but Discount F. Murray Abraham might have some insight.
You have no idea, I assume, what he was doing in the museum.
No.
Or not. Hey, John Bon Jovi cameo. Not gonna lie. Volkov here kinda reminds me of a younger version of Dr. Now on My 600-Pound Life. I think this line is basically Argento answering the critics of his films.
I would call them masterpieces, Inspector.
Over in another movie, someone's working on their Academy of Art University fashion design homework. You kids even remember the Academy of Arts University TV ads? Christ, I'm old. Oh yeah, she definitely looks like the kind of person who'd go to the Academy of Art University for a fashion degree. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess she's the older version of the little girl from the opening. Wow, it's like young Julian Sands with Jerry curl. Get that man some soul glow. Anyway, looks like these bugs are getting poked.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he's mounting them with pins. Yeah, just leave your drawings in a pile with the others.
I'm sorry, but the position we advertised has now been filled.
Or don't. Grandpa is smitten, though.
What's your name?
Sonia.
And despite HR's concerns, she's got the gig.
You can begin work tomorrow.
And they said my Academy of Art degree wouldn't get me an exciting job in the fashion industry. Who's laughing now, losers? Damn, the paparazzi were waiting out front, too. And now he's gonna try the old, hey, come back to my place. I'll take some photos for your modeling portfolio.
My car's just outside. May I drive you home?
Thank you, but I think I can find my own way there.
But I can't.
She will lead me to the Grand Grimoire so I can undo all of creation. Over in the neighborhood of make-believe, Lady Elaine beats the shit out of King Friday. Where's my money, Friday? This was clearly the infamous Lost episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. God, guess this guy's puppet show company doesn't offer dental. In the old days, they just ate cotton. It wasn't until the 20th century that someone figured out it would be better with candy. This urchin is too poor to afford any, but it's okay. Creepy guy here has free candy. I'm sure that's fine too. Thanks, mister. It's like the biggest, most delicious Q-tip ever. God, he's just taking him out for a whole day like this is a Make-A-Wish date. Sir, is this safe? I can't swim. Shut up and eat your cotton, boy. Not gonna lie, his rowing technique is pretty awful. Now you're gonna earn that cotton. We've got a lot of chimneys that need sweeping. Wait, does this guy have predator vision? Oh, he's gonna give him the reanimator serum. Guess the reporter struck out with the fashion designer, so now he's gonna pay a pro. Well, I'm not sure about taking it out in trade, mister. I don't really need any more headshots for my model book. Anyway, he's not here to make a love connection. He's here to get info about the death in the wax museum.
You knew the young man who died of heart failure in the wax museum.
Luca. He was very generous.
And what else was there about him?
Well, I knew he lived on the second floor. Over at the wax museum, Sonia starts her new job. Guess they don't really do new hire orientation here. Oh yeah, someone's gonna be visiting HR before the end of the day. I mean, is this the way Salieri looked at Mozart? But this potential love connection is interrupted by a bumbling oaf.
Can't you be more careful?
Apparently, his creations are filled with liquid blue raspberry Jolly Ranchers. Smog! She's headed home, but walks right into a jump scare.
Joe!
But he's still trying to shoot his shot. Dude is definitely persistent.
It's to advertise a film, The Man with the Face of Wax. I wondered if you'd like to see it with me.
But he gets shut down again. I don't even like horror movies. Anyway, this next scene is looking pretty sketchy. Hey, this is pretty good. You ever think about attending the Academy of Arts University? Can you draw Tippy the Turtle next? No, wait, it turns out he thinks it sucks. I hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
The only thing I ever hear you say is I want another drink.
Don't worry, I think Darkman is here to save her. Spooky tren injections. Judging by this hand, I think our killer might be Jaime Lannister. Then he basically flees into the night, like he's the Tren Fairy, come to give you injections of liquid gains while you sleep. And now it's off to the morgue. Why am I getting Aftermath flashbacks? Oh, hey, look, it's Carl Malden cosplaying Abe Lincoln. I really never noticed how many shots of people's feet there are in movies until I started doing this show. Then we get some exposition.
Our pathologist found a puncture mark on her neck. Her attacker injected her with a drug which none of our chemists have succeeded in identifying. In effect, it slows the heart almost to zero.
And now he's off to see the victim. So, you're telling me he rammed the needle in your neck and then screamed, "Welcome to Gainesville, baby!" At any rate, she's really unhappy about this. Now I'll never be able to claim I'm natty at powerlifting meets. Oh, honey, it's okay. You can still compete in the USPA. Man, that is a run of obscure powerlifting jokes you're not going to get anywhere else, which is probably for the best. Alright, just going to get a before picture so we can see where you're at after the trend kicks in. And football practice jump scare. Her aunt comes in to check on her, though. She's supposed to be blind, I think, but I really think they're just both reading their lines off cue cards. The next day, it's a new installment of Office Mean Girls as Budget Julian Sands lays down the law.
My life has purpose since I became his student. And I'm his only true assistant. Don't forget that.
He's gonna leave her a copy of Boxing Helena just to show her what he's capable of. Then it's time for a flashback. This is how we got Skynet. There's some really good gore here, and unfortunately, it's going to be way too much for PrudeTube's delicate sensibilities. I can't show a fake heart getting ripped out and skewered like a shish kebab. This is every dude's face when his wife starts a story about her arch nemesis at work. Sometimes I think being deaf might actually be okay. Oh, come on. This movie isn't going to ask me to believe this doofy reporter is hooking up with this chick, is it? I'll suspend my disbelief about a cyborg Terminator running around, but this dude hooking up with her? It's a bridge too far. Anyway, looks like things are about to get kinky.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that. Someone's getting tied up. And the wax guy likes to watch. Not gonna lie, these dudes are more lifelike than the actual cast. And now it's time for a cameo. Literally. Oh yeah, the boss is wooing her with gifts. HR is gonna have a stroke. And now we're luring this lady to her doom. It's like Uber Eats, but for escorts. She looks like she just wandered in from shooting an Army of Lovers video. Do you kids even remember Army of Lovers? Christ, I'm old too.
I've come.
Hell yeah.
No, I think she means she's arrived. Man, a face so ugly she literally broke the mirror. God, someone's got at least 14 years of bad luck judging by these mirrors. This just looks like a Victorian-era Dexter's kill room. 21 years. But the good news is she found the beef jerky. And another 7 years of bad luck. She's about to flee, but it's a real pain in the neck to get out of this place. Pretty weird Darth Vader cosplay, but props for the effort. Science. And he's doing whatever the hell this is to her. Reanimator juice incoming. Hey, did Quentin Tarantino shoot this scene? I see what you're doing. Museum establishing shot. Oh, hey, look, it's the Brown Derby. And reporter guy is scoring with Sonia, much to Dr. Now's chagrin. If you look closely, you can actually pinpoint the second his heart rips in half. Guess she didn't choose him after all. And we get a flashback where we see this guy's been cucked before. He looks green with envy. After a hot wax bath, he's looking great. Anyway, next day, our reporter's got a big interview. It's Five Below Cher. Guess she really could turn back time. Or she's just been alive for centuries. Often feels like the latter. Museum establishing shot. God, one date and she's already nagging him.
Please take your photos and get them out of here.
Oh, hey, it's the escort from earlier. Somehow her performance is more lifelike now. Anyway, Boris here is keeping busy and dealing with his heartbreak by immersing himself in some arts and crafts projects. Sonia, meanwhile, is walking home, thinking some deep thoughts. Aren't beanbags really just boneless sofas? Looks like someone wants to get carriaged away. By God, the killer's locked in the claw! Good JR this week. Another 5 years of this and you won't even be able to tell us apart. Oh yeah, things are looking great. Waking up in a strange place with no idea how you got there? Yeah, I've been there. And tied up? Definitely been there. These guys are like, time to pig out. Go ahead, make a hog of yourself. It's what you are. I don't remember Wilbur being a man-eater in the original Charlotte's Web, though. But before dinner can really begin, they're chased off. So long, lady. I sure am baking a lot of pig jokes here. I'm really hamming it up. And who saved her? An older version of the cop who saved her in the opening. Oh, but wait, we're bringing more plot lines together.
Marta had got married when she was 17. A man called Folk, a mangy type, dabbled in alchemy, did experiments into heaven knows what.
But there's more.
She was saved when Folk died in an accident.
This all ties back to the flashback from earlier. And now it's time for a no-blink showdown. After his meeting with the cops, Dr. Now gives I Can't Believe It's Not Julian Sands a taste of his pimp club. He's mad because Julian is who went after Sonia.
You're a maniac! A busted lunatic!
Pretty good, but can Linda Day George show him how to deliver that line with feeling?
Bastard! Bastard!
At night, Dr. Now has dinner with Sonia. Remember, you need to be on a 1,200 calorie a day diet to keep the weight off. Ugh, what is that? And he's got a proposition for her.
You will have to stay late in the evenings.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. He's gonna invite her to stay there at night.
I'm suggesting you sleep here when it's necessary to work later in the evening.
Wait, that still sounds wrong. She suspects he's the killer, but his hands look normal. Probably all the wax and palm olive. Well, someone finally found it. Your vice is a locked room, and only I have the key. Definitely gotta cover that one someday. Daniele Stropa, hard at work on the script. Ugh, this is all crap. And who is his mystery guest in the background? Holy doppelgangers, Batman. And now he's setting himself up for the choke slam. They really should have had Slayer on the turntable, given this is a kill scene. I'm gonna tell my grandkids this was Hootie and the Blowfish. Restaurant establishing shot. I'd say this dude was probably gonna slip her a Mickey in the drink, but he already scored earlier. I suppose we should also point out that Romina Mondello is 100% budget Asia Argento. And here she is, getting outperformed by a bunch of wax sculptures. For a first-time director, Stiviletti did manage to get some nice shots. This feels very reminiscent of early Mario Bava, circa Blood and Black Lace. Lucy, I'm home! And really, that Blood and Black Lace influence extends here because this get-up is very similar to the one the killer wore in Bava's classic. Hey, sweet tattoo! Oh god, this is no wax dummy! But it gets worse. What? She's not dead? Time to split. Science. And this is basically terrible, but still not as bad as stepping on a Lego. Oh hey, it's an El Duque cameo. Alright, time to see what develops. Why so negative? And finally, this doofus figures out what we've all known for the past hour.
My God, they're corpses.
Yeah, thanks, Sherlock. Great work. And he gets some bad news.
Sonia didn't come home last night.
I mean, is that really that unusual? She's a young lady in the prime of her dating years. And since we're just getting all the big obvious reveals now...
What laughable nonsense.
That's a voice I'll never forget. I'd recognize it among 1,000. Boris Volk. Boris Volk.
Volk flees, but our reporter is on the trail. Honestly, this is the least impressive hero-villain combo since 13 Ghosts gave us a Tony Shalhoub, F. Murray Abraham climax. Man, that sounded dirty, didn't it, Danny?
Hell yeah.
Ah yes, the face of a man who's been skipping deadlifts trying to pull 135. Screw it, just gonna do some tricep pull-downs like I'm a bodybuilder. Uh-oh, looks like you've got a Listerine leak. That's gonna cost a fortune to repair. Then he gets knocked the fuck out like this is Friday. Great, now the blind lady is wandering around down here too. Oh, it's like the Faceless Men's base in Bravos. And she gets attacked. She's blind, so she literally never saw it coming. Museum establishing shot, even though we've been in the museum this whole time. And now Volk is going to turn Sonia into his masterpiece. And show her, but boobs. Science! Lots of jibber-jabber here, but again, it's tolerable because boobs. And here's our hero. Sleeping one off during the climax. Fulci eye close-up. But hey, our hero finally arrives. Science! Then he gets a taste of Volk's pimp hand. Yeah, get a good sear on him to seal in the juices. But it's like a third base song because Volk is getting the gas face. Rest in peace to my man MF Doom, aka Zevlov X. Also, God bless Romina Mondello for doing the whole climax topless and tied to a gurney. Tren injection commencing. I'm pretty sure this is just another Tuesday night roleplay for these two, honestly. But Volk is gone. I shot him 6 times! Wait, wrong movie. Oh, it's the Incredible Melting Man! And now Julian Sands is after him too. This guy just can't catch a break. Pretty sweet Human Torch cosplay though, not gonna lie. I don't know if the roof is on fire, but everything else is. Holy bad early CGI. Oh yeah, it's like a modern English song. Definitely gonna stop the world and melt with you. But Volk's not done. It's the T-800. Come with me if you want to live. Or not. I regret nothing. So, the hero didn't actually save anyone in the end. Good work, Daniele Stropa. Oh, I gotta get out of these horror flicks. Maybe I can get a part in one of those Merchant Ivory films, like Room with a View. Burning museum establishing shot. But wait, I feel a swerve coming. Ah yeah, there it is. And he just walks out as himself with all these people around. No one noticed. And cue credits. So, what have we learned from Wax Mask? Well, for starters, that this was definitely a compromised vision given all the behind-the-scenes squabbles, personnel shifts, and Fulci's death. This is an odd one that is more fascinating for what might have been than what it actually is. Stivalati does his best, but the script is a real mess of half-formed ideas and general weirdness. But enough about that. Can Wax Mask make enough effigies to slaughter to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, this one is solid. We couldn't show a ton of cool Stivalati FX shots, but there are a bunch in this one. We're treated to melting corpses, amputations, people turned into wax statues, stabbings, a ripped out heart, and more. Stivalati's FX work is great as always, and there's more than enough carnage here to give Wax Mask a very respectable 4 barf bag rating. This is a pretty sick little flick. Looking for another sick flick where a dude melts right before your eyes? Then be sure to check out my review of The Incredible Melting Man. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.